see what's happening. Are you guys looking at your other feeds?
I don't have them set up.
All right, I'll have a look here and see if we're on.
This is Ron's show, so Ron has to look to see whether or not we're on. I don't, unless I specifically have another computer up.
Yeah, it says 2 are watching, so I guess we got some people watching.
Okay.
YouTube or on Facebook?
Those are YouTube.
Okay. I can do Facebook probably on here. Yeah, we're live. There's 2 on Facebook too. I'm 1 of 3. I'm one of them. And you're one. So there's one other, I guess.
One advice that I read in more than one place, if you're doing these things live, the last thing you ever want to concentrate on is how many people are watching. Because it really doesn't make any difference, because many of them don't watch live, but they do come back afterwards. And because this is being recorded and because it's available on YouTube and on Facebook, they come back afterwards and they watch it when it's convenient for them, not when you are actually live.
Exactly. Well, we will, for those of you who are watching now, we have 1 minute before we start, and then we'll start the show. We have a surprise for everybody before we start the show today, but we'll start it exactly at 9 o'clock. And we'll play the little surprise we have for everybody.
So until then, we'll all be quiet.
Yeah.
If anyone has any questions in the audience, you can start typing them now, and
we'll get to them. Yeah,
we'll get to them.
We'll get to your chats. 1 minute to go.
So Ron, you got coffee. How is it?
Coffee's great.
Good, and it's top of the hour. Let her fly.
It's 9 o'clock. All right.
There's mine.
Hey, that was pretty cool. Hey, I'm grooving, boy. It's a Thursday morning. It's 9 o'clock, or well, I guess it's top of the hour. We are grooving. We are Tech for Seniors live, and welcome to everybody that's in the online. We'll come to you in just a second, but I wanted just to let everyone know we're here live with Hewie Popluck. Hewie, say hello.
Hi there. Yeah, I kind of enjoy that music that's in that intro. I had fun making that, by the way.
I know you did such a good job. That's groovy movie. It's music. It gets us going. You know, that's great for seniors. Get seniors moving, right?
Wake them up.
Wake them up. And Bob, you're back from Texas.
Yes, and I was asleep until the music started. Now I'm wide awake. What a trip yesterday.
I know you told me you drove 13 hours. I couldn't do that. How
13
do you drive
hours.
13
Yeah.
hours? Did Alice drive at all?
She drove for about an hour and a half, and I slept for about an hour and a half. But total trip was 13 hours. And then when you come home after that long being in the car, even when you get out of the car, you are in essence still driving. When you close your eyes, you still see the road and cars and yourself passing other cars. And it's not until the following morning that it finally gets out of your system. I guess the body is vibrated for so long that that kind of becomes part of your physical makeup.
You know, when I was 40 years younger, I could probably drive 13 hours, but man, you know, when we go down to Mesa, I plan it so I get up and we're on the road about 7 in the morning, and I'm finished by 3 in the afternoon. 2:30, I'm looking for a hotel, and 3 o'clock, that's it. I can't do it anymore. I just can't do it. Anyway.
We left at 5:30 and we got here just about at 5:30. And since we gain an hour, that's 13 hours of driving.
Oh, there you go.
The only breaks in between, of course, are bathroom breaks, and you have to put gas in the car once in a while. So
yeah, exactly. Let's have a look who's online and who's commented. We have Jeff Wilkinson here. He says, I see you on YouTube. But actually, I think this is coming from a Facebook feed. I think Jeff's on Facebook. Yay! We got someone on Facebook. That's great. The rest are all YouTube. Liz Milford says, I'm watching on YouTube. Liz watches our Monday show all the time, which is great. Joel's here. Great. Joel was here last week, and I think he's regular on our Monday show, eh? He says, I'm hearing all 3 hosts. Hey, you guys, if maybe you could comment on what you thought of our opening jingle. You know, let us know if you like that. Was that groovy music? You know, did that wake you up? Well, what do you think? Bob says, I started to use Windows image backup tool. Do you know if it uses the same disk space, or do I need to erase some old files to keep making room? Thank you.
It compresses. It's not left as, you know, what you have on your hard drive is not the size of your backup. It compresses it by quite a bit.
Yeah, but he's saying is if he does a second one, is it going to overwrite the first one, or is it using additional space?
It depends on your setup. Within your setup, you can say how many backups you want to keep. I personally have 5. Number 6 wipes out the oldest. So I always have 5 on hand. And if you have a 1 terabyte external hard drive, don't worry about it. 5 will not do anything as far as using up your hard drive. I don't know what kind of hard drive is being used. So that pretty much determines too how many can you have.
Does it compress it quite a bit? Like, is it quite a bit of a compression? So it's not really.
Well, you know, you're still using gigabytes, but
right.
You're not using, you know, if your hard drive currently is a 1 terabyte, you don't need a terabyte in order to back it up, because it's only backing up, number 1, only what's actually there, actual data, and that's being compressed.
I wouldn't want to back up Huey's. Huey's takes a week to back up.
Oh, actually, you know, I back up to iDrive every night, and it does it automatically, and it goes out and says, okay, here's what's new or changed.
Right.
And it's less than an hour, and when I do it with a True Image, I'm less than an hour.
Oh, okay. So that works. So how much is iDrive expensive? I've never used iDrive.
No, it's not expensive, and I think I got a deal for the first couple of years.
Right.
But and they just expanded their minimum amount that you can get, and I think it's like 5 terabytes, or that's what I'm getting anyway. And I was paying for 2, and then they increased it to 5, but it didn't automatically give me 5. I had to ask them for it. So, but it backs up just data.
Right.
And originally, when I first got it, what they did is they sent me a drive, and then I ran their software and backed up to the drive and then shipped it off to them. And then they loaded it. Otherwise, I started doing it live, and it would have taken about a week without doing anything else.
I use something called P Cloud Drive, and it's a one-shot purchase. It was $175, but it's not yearly. And I have 500 gigabytes. So that's an awful lot. And also it's only backing up constantly anything new.
Hmm.
And when I erase it off the hard drive, it also gets erased off the cloud storage.
Okay. And I've got Office 365, so I've got a terabyte with Office 365, which is pretty cool. And I pay what did I get to 200 gigabytes with Google Drive. Yeah, my problem with Google Drive is it was filling up with my 100 gigs, and I just didn't have the time or effort to go back and look what's in that 100 gigabytes. And it was just easier to pay them another $50 or whatever it was a year and get another 100 and stick it in there, because I just want to go through all that and weed it all out. So I just keep going with that.
I see Gary's Schweinhut is here.
And, Gary's here.
Yeah, I talked to him yesterday and invited him. I'm glad to see him online.
Yes, he's on our YouTube channel, but and Jeff just popped up, so I thought I'd take a look, and he's on the Facebook feed, which is cool. And Laverne Irian, have we met Laverne before? Did she come to our Sunday
From Mesa?
From Mesa, eh? Okay. I know Laverne. I know Laverne. She's from she's from the other resort. Yeah, she's from the resort. Joel says, thank you. I'll check the settings. We have a new Western Digital Passport 5 terabyte. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, and Vale's here. Vale is no limit unless you set it. I think he's on Facebook.
Correct.
And no limit unless you set it, right?
Yep. Your limit is the space of your external hard drive.
Right.
But you can make settings. Like I said, mine is set up to do 5.
Right.
And I always have 5 on hand.
Yeah. And Gerald Mars on YouTube.
You went by Stu Butoff from Tampa Bay is here too.
Did I miss Stu?
Yeah.
Stu's there. He's from, do you know Stu?
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah, he does their Chromebook and their Linux SIG in Tampa.
Oh, really? Oh, cool. Maybe we have him as a guest. We should get him as a guest on Learning Chromebooks. Why don't we can have guests on Learning Chromebooks?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
And
we have to do less work. Yeah, we do less work, right? We'll have to keep that my memory and thought, eh?
I got a couple of comments, some things that I want to throw out there today.
All right, go ahead, shoot.
They're not as techy as we normally do, but just did you know that restaurant companies a lot of times if you go into a Walmart, you'll see a Subway, or you may see a McDonald's in the front by the front door and so on. They're starting to move out. I noticed the space at my local Walmart was all emptied, and I said, oh, they must be rebuilding it or something, trying to change it around because of the distancing and so on. And then I saw chains like McDonald's and Subway are leaving Walmart locations, while others, such as Dunkin', opt to leaving the convenience stores. So things are changing in the restaurant business. And then, have you heard the term ghost restaurant or ghost kitchen before?
I did. I've heard that. I read an article on, but I can't remember. Tell me about it. I can't remember what the article was.
A ghost restaurant, also known as a virtual restaurant or cloud kitchen, is a food service establishment that offers takeout only. These ghostly eateries don't have a storefront, so customers can't come and pick up their own food. Ghost restaurants deliver food directly to their patrons, even often through the use of a third-party delivery service, but also they rent space in a kitchen of a going restaurant. Some of the named chefs that have restaurants around, what they're doing is they're renting space in a going restaurant, producing their food, and then they deliver only. So they're using use Uber Eats or DoorDash or one of the other ones. And people can order and it gets delivered, but you can't go pick it up because they're just in the kitchen.
There are some incubator businesses that rent a kitchen from a community center or some other government entities that have kitchens that are certified kitchens, because that's one of the biggest things you have to be careful of, that
Yep.
you have to have a kitchen that's certified
Right.
as. And if it's not, how do you really know what kind of cleanliness is in that kitchen? But that's what lots of them do, is they partner up with a community like a senior center that has a certified kitchen, and they just rent the space. It helps both the senior center and it helps the individual.
Yeah,
So
and I'm wondering how many seniors, how many, people that are watching this show or watch our Tech for Seniors on Mondays, how many of them actually use the delivery services? Or as we get older, we get cheaper, and I don't know that we do it or not, but I know the younger people are all using it. They're having everything delivered. What used to be just pizzas, now all these different restaurants have the DoorDash and the Uber Eats and all of those things, and they're all doing it now. So it's these ghost kitchens. Probably some of them are going to do well, I would think.
Well, DoorDash. Now you got to remember where I live. I live on Vancouver Island. We're in a community of about 80,000 people, but we're pretty, we're not mainstream, right? But our local paper ran the front page ad right on the front page for DoorDash. It was like the whole first page was all DoorDash, a big ad for DoorDash. So it must be huge, eh? Vale says I use Freshly. Anyone use Freshly? Freshly?
And I'm not familiar with that one.
And Vale says I don't cook much. Well, anyway, I won't get into cooking because that's another topic.
I dug out my George Foreman lean machine today. I probably haven't used it since I've been here, and that's 7 years. And I dug it out and I made some waffles in it.
Did you?
And they came out pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. I have my Blackstone grill. I cook everything on my Blackstone grill. If it don't cook on a Blackstone grill, you don't eat it. So that's my big thing I like to cook on. Yeah. So listen, I thought that what we could do is talk a little bit about some of the things that happened this week. I was going to do our little thing here. If we pop this up, we can come down and we'll. This is for those of you who don't know. We post all our latest technology articles on our Facebook page and our Facebook feed. So these are all the latest articles that Bob and Hewie and I published. And I thought we'd come down and just have a look at a few of them. Now everyone knows the big event this week was the Apple. Did you guys watch the Apple event?
I watched some of it, and I watched some of the talking heads talk about it. People like us, Leo Laporte, and a couple others, where they were talking about the what do they call them? The
AirTags, Apple AirTags. Yeah. But now, come on, you guys, we got to get these.
But they're $30 a piece, or 4 for $100, 4 for $99. Right. But they don't come with a holder or something to attach them with, and those things are running between $29 and $49 each.
Really?
As well. Yes. So what you're seeing, those little red and orange and things, those are the minimum is about $30 for each one.
Vale already bought them. He's an Apple guy. Well, yeah, so do you use those tiles? Like I've got those tiles. I think the batteries are gone in them now. They sit in my wallet and they sit in my briefcase and all that sort of stuff. And I never lose anything, so I never have to find them. Because if you have your phone and you're looking for your phone, you just find my phone, right? Like I'm not quite, I guess. So did you guys have the tile? Have you seen those tiles that are around?
They're actually very similar to this, but the batteries are different. The ones in the Apple, these new Apple ones, they're user replaceable. They're just the small little discs, and you can change them yourself. Where I believe the tile, when the battery dies, you're dead. You can
change the tile. They say it's easy to change those stupid batteries and tiles, but I tried to get the back off those darn things, and I could never figure out how to do it. It's like insanely complicated. So anyway, yeah, but so I have, everyone says I mean, I do have an iPad. I told you guys I bought an iPad to talk to my daughters, so I guess I can consider myself partly in the Apple fraternity. Vail reminded us for the big change, of course. This week was the iMac, which got a big upgrade with the M1 chip and all that sort of stuff. So pretty darn cool. Lots of things happening. And so, but we're not. You guys aren't Apple. Well, you got an iPhone, eh, Huey?
I've got an iPhone and an iPad.
Oh, do
But
you?
it's
Okay.
Yeah, but the iPad is, I can't update it. It's so old.
Right.
My only question is, what would I use it for? I haven't left the house except for that trip to Texas. So I'm going to spend $40 on something that, until I start traveling again, really isn't going to do me a bit of good.
It is a good idea if you got kids or grandkids or something, and they have a backpack and they're forever leaving it somewhere.
Good point. Yeah.
You can find it, that sort of thing. And I know people who carry their wallet, and they carry it in their hand. They set it down on a bar or on a counter or something and walk off and forget it.
Mm.
At least they can find it. Hopefully before somebody takes all the money out of it.
The other one is, did you guys? So I just upgraded my Chromebook. Hey, like Chrome OS 90 is available now for the Chromebook. You guys get?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I haven't turned mine on since 2 days ago, and there wasn't an update then. But I did update to the latest one on my PC, the latest Chrome browser. But I didn't realize the Chromebook one has been updated too.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for 91 since I'm on beta.
Yeah, you're always one step ahead of us. Yeah. Well, it's cool. There's some interesting features. One of them is the launcher. When you go into the launcher, the launcher now works as a search engine, just like your search engine in your Chrome browser. So you can search or do anything. And plus, it's got it links into what do you call it? A menu that is your what is it? It's all the functions of your Chromebook. What do you call that? Analytics. And it goes into an analytics menu, and it does it all from the launcher. So they're using the launcher for more things to do. And apparently they fixed the scanning thing. I haven't tested that out yet, but apparently the scanning feature, which everyone's complaining about, hasn't worked. But they got that working. So that's good. But anyway, so I guess all our listeners, if you haven't upgraded, I mean, for sure, if you have a PC, then for sure you probably upgraded. But if you have a Chromebook, they're just releasing this last couple of days for your Chromebook, the OS 90, and you should certainly do that. Well, it'll happen automatically if you don't do anything. Just remember you shut your Chromebook off and restart it. Here we go. Discord ends talks with Microsoft over $10 billion deal. Yeah, that's sort of cool. Are you on you guys on Discord?
No,
nope,
never used it.
I haven't either. Although I told you guys earlier that I think I'm going to go over to Chrome Unboxed and become one of their patrons. And then they have a Discord. It's like just a social media thing, but it's private. I think you have to, enter into it, and then you can get all their chat with all the developers and stuff like that. And I think it'd be good for writing.
Isn't that one you have to be invited to?
Yeah, you have to be invited and so on and so forth. So I'm going to sort of explore that around. That's sort of something. Got plans to do that. If anyone's out in the audience and uses Discord, if you could drop us a note and let us know what you think. Marion said, how soon will prices drop on the latest modems? If you look back here, I just placed an article in here. This was TP-Link's latest Wi-Fi 6 mesh system, starts at 280. That was that's gone down quite a bit. So there's a lot of ones coming out that indeed are coming down. Vale says iOS 14.5 will be out next week and will allow to unlock with face mask via the watch. Well, that's sort of cool.
I'm hoping to get rid of the face masks. I don't need technology to recognize me with a face mask on.
I
I'm one
know.
of those people that, hey, you told me first to wear one to keep everybody else safe. Then I was told to wear one to keep myself safe. Then I was told to go get my injections. Then that'll keep me safe. No, now I've met all of those criteria, and now you want me to constantly wear a face mask? Nah, nah. Too old to start doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I get my
Eventually,
shot. Yeah, I get my.
eventually the end is going to come anyway. So let me enjoy what I got left.
I get my shot on Saturday. By the way, guys.
Your first?
My first shot. Yeah, it's coming on Saturday. So
Good.
we get to go and get jabbed. Do you guys have? Now it was really interesting. There was. I put this on Apple TV here. And I don't have Apple TV. We have it in our computer lab in Mesa for our presentations, but they really talked a lot about this, and Leo Laporte was talking about this as well, and the advantages to Apple TV and all the things it can do. And I was pretty impressed. I mean, Apple TV is more expensive, but it really does stand out. I had a lot of like some of the other live broadcasting, like YouTube, like Roku and Amazon Fire. So do you guys have Apple TV or?
I've got a Fire Stick and I've got a Roku.
Roku, eh? Yeah. I'm sure Vale's got Apple
I've
TV.
got a Chromecast, not a.
You gotta, yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. Maybe Vale can comment what he thinks. Is he going to get the new Apple TV?
What does it do that the others do not?
It. I can't answer that. I didn't read the article. And it wasn't something I was super interested because I don't have one, so I wasn't. But it was a lot of the part of the live stream that occurred on broadcast on Tuesday talked a lot about that. So I could go back and look it up, but I just haven't been paying attention to that. Maybe Vale could comment if he's listening what he thinks if he's going to get the upgrade. What else here? Two-factor authentication. There was a good article on how to set up. This was from Best Buy. Best Buy has a whole series of great videos that they do. Oh, Vale says I do. He's got the new one, and they have their own programming and they do 4K. There you go.
Amazon also has their own programming.
Right.
My suggestion: anybody goes into a Best Buy, if you physically go in there and talk to somebody, one of the salespeople, one of the things you want to do is ask them a question you know the answer to. A technical question, and if they can't answer it or they give you some bull crap because they don't know the answer, they just make something up on the fly, you'll know not to ask. You don't rely on anything they say.
Right.
But if they give you a good answer and they sound like they know what they're talking about, then you got a shot at it when you have a real question.
Right.
But always ask some kind of a question you know the answer to first.
Good point. Now, I think I use two-factor authentication on everything now. I'm probably Bob has his all set up, pretty much all your accounts, eh?
Definitely.
Yeah. And Hewie, are you? Yeah. So this
I use it for a lot of them, but there are some that's just it's to get on certain websites. I don't need two-factor authentication. All I want to do is get on and get my information.
Right.
But if it's got stuff in there that it should be private and so on, if I go into one of the health sites or something with my doctor's office or something like that, yeah, I want to have two-factor authentication, and of course the bank and so on.
Right. Now, this was an interesting article I put up. Huawei is looking to bring ECG, non-invasive blood sugar and blood pressure capabilities to its Huawei Watch. Now,
I couldn't get to that link.
It's right there. Now,
I tried the link. I got an error.
I did too. Yeah, I did too. I couldn't get
there's an error in the link, is there? Huh? Well, the interesting thing was this week that, of course, Apple didn't talk about the watch. So you know what I think? I think that the blood sugar is coming, and I think that because of what's going to happen, they're probably going to announce it at their fall reveal or whatever, because there was nothing about the Apple Watch at all on this week. So and I think that's all. The battle's going to heat up. You've got Huawei now. You've got Apple. You'll have Google with their Fitbit line, and of course Samsung. So it'll be interesting to see. But I think the battle lines are being drawn, and I'm sort of excited about that.
Yeah, I'm wearing my new watch.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the old watch I remember you wearing many years ago.
Well, I know this is a bigger one. This is an S8 Plus, but I played with the Wise for a while, but I don't think there's enough information on it and enough things there to make me want to carry that on my wrist and still carry a phone or two with me. So I've decided not to use my Wise phone, but I would like to see one of the ones that when they start doing blood sugar and some of that sort of thing, I probably will go. I'll bite and buy a real smartwatch at that point. So Ron, I'm waiting for you to keep up with it and tell me when it's time to get one.
I just bought Gail. She was complaining yesterday her Fitbit had died, and so I bought her a new Versa today. Yesterday, I got to go pick it up today. But the Versa's really come down in price. It was $170. That's Canadian, $175 Canadian for the Versa, which is sort of cool. Now let's come down here. What's the next article here? Over Fitbit Sense discount. Yep. So this is so I bought the Versa. You know, if you don't need the ECG monitor, an EKG machine from the Sense, from the Sense, then the Versa is almost exactly the same watch. So it's about $100 cheaper. So interesting. So it's a nice looking watch. What else here? 5 unorthodox ways to use Google Maps. So you know what I'm doing? I told you I got my e-bike, and I'm paddling around on my e-bike now. I've got cameras on it, and I'm doing videos of the e-bike and riding, and I'm overlaying Google Maps onto it so that when you're riding, you can see exactly where I'm going, and making some videos on that. So it's going to be fun. So that should be a little. You can come with me for a tour of the area, and I'll show you.
You know, I can remember as a kid, we used to go to neighbors or friends' houses, and everybody would get together in the living room, and they'd bring out this big piece of equipment and put this cartridge on top that had all their slides from their trip. And we would be bored to death watching all of them, all the pictures of the slides of their trip. And people hated it. And, that was always the going joke. The people were going to take out their pictures from their trip and show them to you. And now we all do it every day on Facebook and on the other social medias. We're sharing pictures all the time with people. How times have changed.
They have indeed. Wi-Fi routers. I know what I was going to tell you guys. So this is interesting. I'm going to do a little talk on this, I think maybe on Mondays. So cables. Remember, I've been talking about plugging in and how important it is to plug in cables. So are all Ethernet cables the same? And of course, there's Cat 5, Cat 6, Cat 7, and it's interesting some of the how old some of the cables are that people are using, and how important it is to actually look at your cables. So I actually I'll tell you the cable story later, but it's people need to really look at their cables, particularly with the speeds now with the gigabit connections that people are getting, and it does make a difference on what cables you use. But this was about the Wi-Fi 6E routers that are available now. Have you guys got Wi-Fi 6 yet, or what do you think?
I don't, but
not here.
Right. Yeah, you're not getting a gigabit connection soon, are you, Bob?
No, not likely. My only prayer is that they'll put up that cell tower and I'll have 5G. Then that'll make me happy.
Yeah.
But that won't be a gigabit either.
Yeah.
Although I had promised I would not complain about my internet service, since where I was just visiting, I'm 10 times faster than they are, and I'm complaining. So let me just.
Exactly.
It took me 2.5 days to be able to use my computer down there because I had some things that needed to be downloaded. What a disaster.
Yeah. I know. Hey, this is the one you talked about. This was just I put this up yesterday. This was you brought this up early in the year, and we've talked about this before, but it came up again on Android Authority, and this was about the next Windows PC could be in the cloud. So they're bringing this up again.
Yes.
Have you heard any more about this?
Sooner than you expect. They expect to launch it by summer.
Really?
Yep.
Now, when I looked at this back 6 months ago, and you know, when Hewie discovered this and then posted it, and I think you did it on the WinSig. Did you not do it in WinSig first? And that and do you remember the response you got? Like, holy mackerel, everybody was wanting to talk about that for the whole show. Like, it was a big, lots of interest in that, eh?
Yep. And they're going to try to make it as a service,
right?
And you buy a computer that doesn't. It's like a Chromebook. It doesn't require a lot of memory and a lot of storage because everything is being done in the cloud, including Windows.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? What do you do when you have 1.5 meg down and 0.7 up?
Well, the point is that you never move anything off the cloud, though, eh? Like it's just a.
You still got to connect. You still got to connect to it.
Yeah,
and move things around and do it. So yeah, when you don't have a good connection, you better hope that Starlink comes to your area pretty quickly.
Yep. Although that might be happening sooner too, because they're moving at record speeds. Ron, I posted something in the chat.
Okay.
I don't see it.
I don't see anything.
Oh, it might be in the private chat.
Oh, wait a minute. No, I need to hit the little button that says send.
Oh, you put it in the private chat. I got it. You're talking about a tiny URL?
Have you heard anything like how much is it going to cost? I heard it was like $200 a month. Have you heard about what costs are on this?
No. I had heard it might be. I think in the article that I had read, it said something like maybe it was $200, but I don't think that's a month. I think that's a year.
That's a year.
That's a year, eh?
Will not be $200 a month. Nobody will afford it except companies.
Yeah, and that's not what that's not who they're trying to get to use it.
Right. They're looking to supply that to the masses, and you can't do that unless you have a price that's something everybody can afford.
Right. And this is the new iPad Pro that was that they talked about on the reveal again. And the cost of this has come down. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's amazing what they're doing, particularly with this M1 chip. It's so fast, and these things are so light. Man, oh man. And Hewie has been. Here's the new tool put together for the APCUG promo. That's pretty cool. So tell us about this. Now you've been busy doing video, stuff with video.
Well, there was one of those ads in Facebook that said, oh, buy this instead of paying so much a month, it's going to be so much a year. And so I went and I looked at it, and then they sent me something else, and I bid on one of them. So I had two tools from this one company, and it wasn't quite what I had hoped it was going to be, but I started playing with it enough that I put it together with two parts, and I went and used Camtasia and put them together.
Let's see if we can watch and see this here.
Yeah, this is the second part. And the voice in this is computerized, is computer generated, and I had a choice of several accents and male and female voices to
We're
use.
not hearing
Yeah,
the
we're
voice.
not hearing it. No.
I don't think
Yeah.
I've shared the
I
audio.
don't. Yeah, I don't. But that's
But,
sort of
but
cool.
if they look at it, on Facebook. It's similar to the one package that I
Yeah.
used for, where with the handwriting and so on. Not quite as easy to use, but the fact that I could put in the narration, type in the text for the narration, and their voice would create the voice overlay. So I don't have the problem I had Monday when I did my Starlink report. I really messed up some of the pronunciations, and I had more ums and uhs, and I wanted to have in it where this doesn't have any of that, because it reads what's on the paper, and that's it, without any additions.
CastOMatic can do an excellent job of getting rid of oohs and ahs and all of that.
Oh no,
stuff.
but it's still a lot of work.
You still have to do it. Yes, it still takes time.
Is it like Doodly?
Yeah, it's well, yes and no. It uses the handwriting, but it still has some pretty good animations that you can use, but you have to use their templates. With Doodly, you can actually put your own picture up there and draw the lines. This one, it just kind of wipes them on the screen, and that's the only way you can get it on.
Yeah. Jeff says that's a good looking ad. There you go.
Yeah. My idea is maybe the few $100s that I spent on all of this, maybe I can entice some business or some group to help pay for it by charging, and I'll put something together for them. That's my goal anyway.
So you're open for business. So we can do you an ad. We'll do you a free ad on Tech for Senior Live. Huey's advertising promotion. We, just get in touch with you and you'll make an ad for them.
That was my idea 2 years ago with Doodly, and I actually did have one sale that paid for it, and that was it.
All right. Let's see what else is on here. Come down here. You posted this. So what's happening with poor old Firefox? Mozilla will be ending its support for the Firefox app on Fire
TV.
Yeah.
TVs. So if you have a TV that's got Fire TV, you could go to Firefox and then use it as a browser on your TV. You're no longer going to be able to do that using Firefox, but there are Amazon has their own browser and you can use that. So you still have the ability to browse the web from your TV. It's just it's using something different.
I just use Chrome for everything. Bob, do you use Chrome?
You won't be able to use that. Now, if you're using a Fire Stick, you have to use their own browser.
But what browser do you use, Bob? Do you use Chrome?
Chrome is the default.
Yeah.
But I use all the others too.
Huey, what do you use Chrome?
I use Chrome on my Chromebook, but also on my PC. But I have them all available because working on my website and so on, I want to be able to get to see what it looks like on the different browsers. And also I've got so many things locked up in Chrome that a lot of times if I'm on a website and I got to fill out a form to buy something, it won't do the pop-up for me to fill in some information or to answer a question or something. So I have to go out to either Firefox or Brave or Edge or one of the other things that I haven't locked down as much. And I can then make the purchase, or just sometimes, if you remember, I was having trouble with my own website. I couldn't see one of the pictures on it.
Oh, yeah.
Using Chrome.
Oh, okay.
But if I went to Firefox or any other program, it worked fine. I could see it.
Check your ad blockers, because
I took every extension and everything special off of my Chrome, and it still didn't work. So I wiped the Chrome and reinstalled it, and everything started working again. So I'm fine.
Yep.
Interesting. Let's come down here.
Sometimes we button down the hatches so far that we lock ourselves out.
Yep.
That's not a good idea.
It's kind of like going on the edge of a limb and then sawing on the tree side of it
Yep.
and saw yourself right off.
Chrome introduces genius new feature to make life easier. Did you read that article?
No, I didn't.
Do you want to be a genius, Bob, or what?
I'm already a genius. I don't have to read it. I couldn't resist that one.
I didn't read that. Jeff says, "Well, I think I put that up before, didn't I?"
You did.
Catch his attention.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't read that yet. Oh, and then I know. So the new feature, I haven't tried this yet. It's too bad. I'm doing a Zoom call this afternoon, a talk. So I'm going to try this. So have you, with the new feature in Zoom, is you can highlight and draw on the screen? Have you guys done that?
Yeah,
but
that's been there a while.
Really?
But I shut it off especially for the attendees, because otherwise all of a sudden you're doing a presentation, somebody's drawing on your presentation and doing
really?
Check it out. So you have to make sure you have that turned off for the attendees. And there's always been a way that you could go to a certain screen and mark things up directly in Zoom.
Really? I didn't know that.
It's been on forever.
Yep.
Huh.
That's not new. I sent you the link to make sure you updated Zoom, because Zoom had another update.
Yeah.
Right.
They do have something new in Zoom, though, that there's a setting now for your meetings where you can ask your attendees if it's all right with them that you can unmute them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And if they okay it, then but you have to turn that switch on in the settings. But if they say okay, it'll actually ask them. If they say okay, then you can do the unmuting for them.
We should. I got to turn that on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to write that. So this is it in settings?
Yeah, and I think it might be in your master settings. It might not be by the meeting. I can't recall.
I gotta look into that. Yeah, because that, how many people on our show on Monday, they're muted and then they can't figure out how to unmute themselves, and then it becomes a real problem. So if we could just say, okay, I could unmute you, and you just have to say okay, and then boom, you're unmuted.
But some people don't like that, because if they're talking on a phone or something and you can unmute them, everybody can hear what they're saying. And
right, but you have to give permission.
Object with that idea. Yeah.
But you have to give permission. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll have a look at that. We'll maybe.
But I think it's a blanket. I think it's a blanket permission. Once you give it, it's there.
It's there. Yes. Once something said last Monday, they said the most. Oh, I think Jim Glass always says it's the most commonly used phrase on Zoom. Unmute yourself.
Unmute yourself. You're muted.
Yeah. I know.
I know that when I do a presentation, I start off with everyone muted, because I don't want surprises.
Yep.
And some people really don't want those surprises to get out. So it's safer to start unmuted. But then you always have to ask them to unmute themselves. So
right. Well, this is interesting. This came out this week. I posted this as on the HTC Vive. This is one of the virtual reality headsets, new one coming out, and this is for exercise, and it's light. This is all very light material around, and it's all made for people doing exercise in VR. So I'm doing my last talk on Monday, and I was just working on it this week on the applications that you can do. And I was thinking the most fun with these is just having fun. Is going out, and whether you can take dance lessons, you could go on a bike ride, you can climb mountains, you can do whatever you want. You don't have to leave your house, right? It's lots of fun. So that'll be. So this is a new one that's just coming out. I thought that's sort of cool. And it's interesting because in some of the posts that I've been doing, seniors really a lot of interest in e-bikes, and so I thought, well, really, they all want to talk on in some of the talks to clubs and stuff. I mentioned my new e-bike, and everyone wants to talk about it. So this was I thought I'd just throw this up. We had 20 people look at it. This is the best quality and new helmets for e-bikes, and I thought that was sort of cool. Cool. What else here?
What makes it an e-bike helmet for an e-bike?
Well, I think they're more motorcycle type helmets because you're going much faster. So the one I have is like a motor. It's rated for a motorcycle helmet, so it's not a bicycle helmet because I think you're going. Well, in my case, I'm flying down the road. You can really go quite quickly with these e-bikes.
Do they have a headset built in?
No, and I'm I'm not putting any earbuds or anything like that in my I've got lots of communication stuff, but I'm not. When I get on that bike, Hewie says, "Don't kill yourself because you got to do the show on Monday." and that's my whole. I get on that bike, and that's my first worry. Is I'm thinking, geez, if I don't get back, I mean, Gail will miss me when I'm gone, but Huey will kill me forever because I won't be at the show on Monday. So I do keep your comments are in the back of my mind all the time while I'm cycling, and I don't want to put anything in my ears, so I'm listening to music. I got to keep my wits about me because you're going fast. I mean, it's amazing how fast you can go on those darn things, and you got to watch for slow bicycle people. Those are the people going real slow because you're passing people and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's interesting.
Remember, the further back you go in this, the more ancient the news becomes.
I know. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. I did a video. Do you guys remember? I did a video on how to export your pictures from Facebook to Google Photos. Do you remember? I showed that on Tech for Seniors, and so this is a large part of what's happening in Facebook. They're allowing you to export more and more data to make the flow, which is sort of cool. And this was an article that came out. It was from Lifehacker, and how to export your Facebook posts to Google Drive. So, for example, suppose you had a blog. Now, what we're doing is we're going through our news services in the morning, and for all those who are listening, we post all these news articles, the latest news articles, to our Facebook page, which is what we're going through now. This is the Tech for Seniors Facebook page. We're just going over all the current articles we looked at last week. Now, this came up, and this was an article, and they have added this feature on your posts. So if you had a blog or something and you want to include some posts, then this would allow you to easily take them all. I haven't done it yet, but it allows you to take all your posts and export them as some sort of file. I'm not sure what type of file it is, but take it and move it over to Google Drive. And from Google Drive, of course, you could import it to whatever service you're using for your blog or whatever you wanted to do with it. I thought that was pretty cool. And they're doing this with more features within Facebook as well, so that it's easier to get information out. And I thought that was really cool. So do you guys have any comments on that? Or
Facebook
something?
To me is a personal thing. It's between family and stuff,
Right.
Except for the business end of it. That's different.
Right. Okay. Anyway,
so the stuff that I post on the personal, my personal Facebook page, not something I want on Google Drive.
Right. Bob, you posted this. This was the one on arts and this is the arts and culture. Is that what Huey was talking about?
That's the one I did for the. I did a segment on one of the early Tech for Seniors.
Right.
Yeah.
The museum.
Google keeps adding more and more things to their arts and culture.
Right. It's cool. Bob, did you have anything you were interested in talking about this morning? We've got about 10 minutes left. We're sort of getting back into the.
I sent you a link that might interest people because it specifically has to do with your privacy and all those videos short videos, a minute and a half or less, all pertain to protecting your privacy.
Mhm. Now, what can I see that?
Yeah, it's in the private chat. Definitely, you got it.
I got that. Now, how could I? If I click this, yeah, but then I get out of StreamYard.
No, you don't want to do that. You can't
No.
share it.
No, I can't share it. Can't do that.
Because on my end, I can't share anything. And
Yeah. In anticipation of June the 1st end of Free Story, I uploaded.
fabulous, fabulous.
Good point, Jeff. That's something we should probably maybe have Chris Gould on, and do a show maybe on our Monday show. This is what is this? This is April. So it's June 1st. We've got April, May. Yeah, I should.
We got a month and a half.
Yeah, maybe I should talk to Chris about that. Maybe coming on and giving us an update on all this, because it is something we probably want to get on with doing before June 1st,
I think Chris just did a show on her show about the importance of getting that done before the deadline.
Mm-hmm. And good video on Geeks on Tour all about this subject. Yeah. We'll see. We'll have to review that again with maybe Chris and get all that stuff, get that stuff uploaded for sure. Hewie, you're awful quiet today. If you nothing, you usually like to talk. You must have something you want to talk about.
I'm not on, am I?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I'm back. Okay, no,
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm back now.
Where'd you go? Where'd you go?
I pushed the wrong button again, so I had to sign back in.
Yeah.
I haven't been quiet. I'm never quiet.
Tell us about something interesting. Come on, you guys, out in the chat. We need some questions. We've got 5 minutes left. We need some of you to ask.
There was an interesting article on a website called Telsarati, which kind of gives you the impression that they may be a little bit biased, but it's a California company, multi-platform media company, and leading lifestyle brand with a focus on Tesla. I'm sorry, I meant Tesla, SpaceX, and ventures affiliated with Elon Musk. They had an article, I believe it was yesterday or today, that SpaceX competitor OneWeb, who I mentioned in the update this past week, they misled FCC and media with false near misses with their satellites and SpaceX satellites. And I just highlighted a few things in the article. It says, it appears that OneWeb knowingly misled both media and U.S. regulators over a claimed near miss with a Starlink satellite. Back on April 9th, OneWeb went public with claims that SpaceX had mishandled its response to a routine satellite collision avoidance warning from the U.S. military, which monitors the location of satellites in space debris. According to OneWeb government affairs chief Chris McLaughlin, SpaceX disabled an automated system designed to detect and automatically commands Starlink's satellite collision avoidance maneuvers to let OneWeb move its satellite instead. McLaughlin also stated that the coordination in this issue is not sufficient to any I've got an automated system. And it went on in the article to talk about this. And then it said towards the end, let's see, no, that was, where is the rest of the item here? It said, after exiting bankruptcy last November, OneWeb had completed just 2 more launches, which I had mentioned in the update. And they plan on a total of 650, operating at a much higher they're at 750 miles orbit. Any failure of OneWeb satellites would produce debris that could remain in orbit for decades, whereas SpaceX has explicitly chosen a much lower 340-mile orbit, meaning that debris re-enters in a matter of years at Starlink's sub 300-kilometer, 185-mile insertion orbit. Any faulty satellites screened during SpaceX's checkout process re-enter in a matter of days or weeks, thanks to drag from the Earth's atmosphere. So as it turns out, OneWeb's near miss appears to have been a farce, and the company scrambled to promise to retract those statements in an April 20th meeting with the FCC and SpaceX. So nobody can get along these days.
No one can get along, eh? So Jeff said, reselection of browser. I was using Chrome, but it stopped being allowed to see Yahoo Mail. All others allow me to use Yahoo. Do I need Chrome to be the default in order to use Yahoo Mail?
Would make no difference.
No,
I don't
it
think
doesn't.
it,
No.
Yeah.
Yahoo really is something that
You want to get out of
away
Yahoo.
from.
Yeah,
Get away from.
Yeah.
Sorry,
sure.
Jeff, but that's not a platform to stay with.
Yeah. We have seen a high incidence of failure of 1 terabyte drives and have replaced many with SSDs. Have others seen high failure of 1 terabyte drives? So I guess the question, it was interesting. Leo Laporte talked about this week, and you know, it used to be when SSDs came out, everybody was wondering, were these going to be as good and last and as reliable as spinning drives? Well, now we've got them under our belt. A lot of them, we're using them. And the answer is yes. These are solid. I just bought a 2 terabyte SanDisk, external drive. It's an SSD. SSDs are really the only way to go now. And spinning drives, not good. You guys got anything to say about that one?
I haven't had any failures. They're just slow as molasses.
Yeah,
I got a 5 terabyte and an 8 terabyte external drive that I use for backups, but my computer, my NUC, I have a 4 terabyte SSD card in it.
Right. I removed Chrome and reinstalled. Same problem. Cannot log into Yahoo, so I removed Chrome.
I wonder if Yahoo has. I wonder if they're using SSL. I wonder if they're HTTPS. That might be the problem.
They probably aren't. Yeah,
and they probably aren't. Yeah.
If you aren't using HTTPS, which now is a mandatory thing for you to use Chrome, it's keeping you safe. And it's an added expense probably for Yahoo, and they're not willing to spend that extra money.
Right.
I would get rid of Yahoo, not Chrome.
Exactly.
But again, that's,
Yeah. Jeff says the high failure rate is the old mechanical drives, particularly 1 terabyte. Well, it's interesting. If you look at Best Buy, and I talked about this on our Monday show, if you look at Best Buy, you can buy a 500 gigabyte spinning drive for $49. And if you say, well, okay, Best Buy's got to make $20 on that, so maybe that's $30. And then there's when you actually get down to what is the cost of actually manufacturing that drive, it's around less than $10.
Yep.
And when you consider for $10, how do you have all those platters? How do you have all that stuff that spins? How do you have all the bearings in there, all the things that make this work for $10? Like if it's $10, it's pretty cheap, right? So I don't know how that, it's just, I don't have a lot of satisfaction in knowing that something for $10 is holding all my data, right?
Guess what time it is?
It's 10 o'clock. All right. I guess we have another hour is blown by. Thanks everyone for coming. Are we going to do this next week? What do you guys think?
I'm game.
God willing, I'm still here. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I think we had some fun this week. So all you guys listening will be on next week. We'll see you in one week from now. And thank you, Hewie, for our new jingle. I think that's so cool.
We'll see. I hope to see everybody Monday at Tech for Senior.
Yeah. We'll see everyone Monday and so on and so forth. So thanks for coming, and we will talk soon. Till next week.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye.